Welcome back to another episode of Awaken, a space where truth comes with no armor, where healing sits beside you like an old friend, and where we honor the parts of ourselves we're still learning to understand. Tonight feels different. It feels tender. It feels like one of those nights where your soul won't stop whispering, where something inside you is shifting, growing, opening again, even after everything that tried to close it. I've been thinking about healing a lot lately and what it really takes to become a woman who rises from her own storms, a woman who rebuilds her own heart with her bare hands, a woman who refuses to stay broken because God did not design her to stay small. And somewhere in all of that, all of the rebuilding, all of the becoming, all of the quiet moments of surrender, I realized there's a part of healing we don't talk about enough. A part that feels terrifying, sacred, uncomfortable, and necessary all at the same time. And that's one very powerful word: trust. The kind of trust that asks you to open your heart up again after life taught you to protect it. The kind of trust that feels like standing on the edge of something new and choosing to step forward anyway. The kind of trust that begins with not some not with someone else, but with you. And let me ask you this. When did you first realize that trusting yourself was harder than trusting someone else? I think for me, that realization happened in the moments where I kept showing up guarded, where I kept choosing distance even when I wanted closeness, where I kept building walls I didn't actually want. There comes a moment in your healing where you feel it, that pull, that whisper, that it's time. It's time to trust again. It's time to stop holding yourself hostage to what hurt you. It's time to stop making every new opportunity pay for the mistakes of your past. And it's not a choice anymore. It becomes a requirement for you to for the life that you want. Because you can't call in love while holding distrust. You can't call in partnership while gripping fear. You can't call in community while pretending you don't need people. Take a moment and ask yourself this. What moment or situation made you realize you were blocking connection because you didn't trust anyone? Sometimes the answer is small. Sometimes it's life changing, but it's always honest. For me, the real shift wasn't about trusting someone else. It was about trusting me. Trusting that no matter what happens, I am capable of holding myself, holding my emotions, my heartbreak, my disappointment, and my joy. And most importantly, holding my healing again if I ever needed to. And there's so much power in that because when you know you can survive the storm, you stop fearing the rain. So let me ask you, when was the first time you surprised yourself with your own strength? What did you walk through alone that proved you can hold yourself? These questions matter because the answers point you back to yourself. Recently, I felt like I was being tested, not by a person, not by a situation, but by God. Tested in the way where He quietly asks you, do you trust yourself now? Do you trust who you've become? And for the first time in a long time, my answer was yes. Yes, I do. I trust my ability to heal. I trust my emotional capacity. I trust the woman I've become. Maybe you felt that too. That the that moment where life hands you something unexpected and instead of collapsing you realize I can hold this. So think about this. What did that test look like for you? How did you know God was asking you to step into a higher level of trust? You know, People love the word resilience, but what I built, it's more than resilience. Resilience survives. What I built rebirths. It's deeper. It's a knowing. It's knowing that no matter what God writes into my life, I can hold it. Even the parts I don't want, even the lessons I never asked for. So ask yourself, if resilience is surviving, what word describes what you built? How would you describe the woman you became after the storm? Because naming it gives it power. And that brings me to this truth: trust is a gift, a holy, spiritual, intimate gift. When I give someone my trust, I'm not handing them my weakness, I'm handing them my strength. I'm not saying, I hope you don't hurt me. I'm saying, I trust me enough to rise if you ever do. So take a breath and reflect. Who do you feel safe enough to trust today? And what version of you made that possible? If you're in a season where trusting feels scary, let me first trust, let me first, let your first trust be yourself. Because when you trust yourself, you don't fear the outcome. You honor the becoming. And from that place, you can gift trust to the world again, freely, boldly, softly, and without fear. And with that being said, I want to go so much deeper into what trust really means and what it means to me and my growth and my journey. And for me, trust was probably had to deal with a lot. I had the definition of trust for me was trusting myself more than trusting the outside world. Because if you really think about trust, why would you, how could you trust anybody else if you didn't trust yourself first? It's the same thing as love. Like, how could you expect anybody else to love you if you don't love yourself first? Right? And we attract those things. We attract, if you don't trust yourself, you're going to attract people you can't trust into your life. Just the same thing as love. If you don't love yourself, you're going to attract people who don't love you for who you are into your life as well. And so I've been really learning about the law of attraction lately and trying to really understand it and understand the depth of it, right? And how we attract things. And it really comes from within. It comes from you. You attract who you are. You attract what you want in your life. Um and it all starts with you. The choices that you make every day, how you live your life. And how you live your life is going to reflect the people that you attract into your life, right? So if you are distrusting or you can't trust your own decision making, you can't trust your own mindset, you can't trust your own becoming, how do you expect other people to kind of live within your world and you not be on the edge all the time, right? So that was one of the reasons why I really had to heal me first before I allowed anybody else into my life, whether that was a friendship, a relationship, or whatever the case may be. Because, like I said earlier, I'm not afraid of what somebody might do to me anymore because I trust myself enough to know that no matter what happens, I have the capability, the capacity, the knowledge, and the will to heal myself from the bottom to the top all over again. Now, do I want to do that? Hell no. Nobody does, right? But you never know what life really brings to you. And that's why it's like very, 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 very important to make the right decisions when it comes to people, the people you allow into your life, and to not gift your trust to somebody right away, right? Because trust is, I mean, trust is something that, has to be, I don't I want to be very cautious with the way that I explain this part, because I don't want to say earned, but in some capacity it really is earned. Trust does have to be earned, right? It has to be through experience. It has to be through knowing somebody, conversations, and moments of truth, and understanding somebody's mind, and understanding somebody's, how they move, and what their intention is for themselves, right? And that's the beauty, really, of getting to know new people. And I find that fascinating, is to just understand somebody's mindset, and understand and really be curious about how they think, how they move, how they are creative sometimes, how their mind works, how they make decisions. All of those things are so important when you look for relationships, or when you look for coworkers, or partners, or mentors, or coaches, whatever the case may be. They have to be aligned with who you are. They have to be aligned with who you're becoming, and they have to be aligned with your path, right? Like I always say, for me, I can never have somebody in my life that doesn't clap for me, or is threatened by something, or feels, I don't know, like it. I could I because I'm the type of person, or I'm the type of human being that will clap for every single person that succeeds in their life. Even for their failures, I will clap for them, because even in failure, it's a lesson. So failure is really non-existent if you really think about it. And so clapping for, and so just understanding that side, like that, understanding that I can go all the way up to the sky, and it's not going to be a problem for someone else, or whatever the case may be, or for family, or for friendships, or for relationships, or for whatever. You should never have to feel like you have to shrink yourself, right? And for me, that's something I always was like, okay, I don't want to feel like I have to be something else, or be someone else in any kind of dynamic, in a work dynamic, in a relationship dynamic, whatever the case may be. And I'm talking in general. I'm not talking personally right now. I'm talking in general. Okay. So I'm talking in a place, from a place of just understanding what, and that's why going through the healing journey is so important, because you're understanding what you want now, and why you want it, right? And I would have never understood that I can't have somebody who feels threatened. I can't have somebody who wants me to shrink. I can't have somebody who's going to be jealous of my own wins. You know what I'm saying? I can't have people like that in my life, because for me, there's no cap. The sky is the limit. And I'm training myself, really. I'm training my mind, I'm training my body, and I'm training my soul to be really capable of holding the sky is the limit, right? So everybody says the sky is the limit, but are you capable of holding the sky is the limit? Because that's a huge responsibility. So, with that being said, it's like really understanding that trust has to start with you first. Can you trust yourself enough to heal another heartbreak, or to heal whatever you need to heal if something bad was to happen? right? And we're not thinking about if something bad was to happen, but we're being realistic. We're being like trying to understand, or not trying to understand, but we're I don't know how I want to say this exactly, but no matter what happens, you're capable of holding whatever you need to hold. Okay. And I'm not talking about me personally, right? Because I'm not thinking about the worst thing, the worst case scenario. I'm thinking about the best case scenario. I'm thinking about what an amazing thing it would be if this was successful, right? And for somebody who has dealt with the healing journey, I think the negative thought of what bad thing might happen can overtake you stepping into a new connection, or stepping into a new work environment, or whatever the case may be. And I really found that in building that trust with myself, I'm not afraid of that anymore, right? I'm not afraid of the outcome anymore. I'm open to the outcome no matter what it is, right? And so what I'm really explaining is that I'm open to every single thing that is ready to come into my life because I'm strong enough to hold it now. I'm strong enough to hold every single emotion again. I'm strong enough to hold love. I'm strong enough to hold all of those things and really thrive in those things. So if you're on the edge of, should I trust this or should I trust that, or whatever the case, or should I trust this person, whatever the case may be, that's not a question you should be asking yourself. The question you should be asking yourself is, can I trust myself enough to know that I am capable of whatever the outcome is going to be? That's the powerful question that we need to ask ourselves. That's the question that I ask myself all the time. What are you really afraid of? Because if you trust yourself and you trust God and God is on your side, what are you afraid of? There should be no fear. There should be a surrender, right? And when you truly surrender in that knowing of, I am capable, whatever the outcome is, I'm capable of holding it. When you truly surrender to that, you become unshakable in some kind of way. You become soft within your nature. Um, and you're not afraid to say what you want anymore. You're not afraid to hold your boundaries. You're not afraid to stand 10 toes down because you're capable. You're capable of holding whatever it is. And I think the most beautiful thing in life is to really come to that place in your life where you trust your capability. You trust your instincts, you trust your intuition, you trust that whatever the outcome is going to be, I am capable. And I think we all clap for strength. We all clap for the strong people, right? And we are strong. Every person is strong. Every human being on this planet is strong. Every single one of us. Even if you feel weak in this moment, but we're strong. We're so strong because we lived another day. We chose to live that other day. We choose to take another breath. We're still strong because we believe that taking another breath, there's something there. There's a reason for it. And so We honor the strong ones because we're all strong. But what we should really commend and what we should really, really clap for is the person that is capable of holding anything. Because that's not only strength, that's not only resilience, that's not only not fearing or being courageous or being a champion or whatever the case may be, but that's someone who is unstoppable in any kind of way. Because in any situation, even if they fail, they don't see it as a failure. They see it as a stepping stone, because now I learned something new that I didn't had before. I didn't have this knowledge before. And I learned that through failure. So it's a win. So if there's no failure, can anybody ever lose? No. There's no loss when you trust your capability. Because even in loss, it's a lesson. Even in hardship, it's a win. So you win every day. Even in your weakness, you're winning. Because in your weakness, you're learning. Every tear that falls from your eyes is a win, because you're releasing. And every time you fail, you're rewiring. And you're becoming more capable. And in your becoming more capable, you're restoring who you are as a person. And you're becoming. So you're so capable of anything you put your mind to, any achievement, any outcome you desire. If you fail once, now you have the roadmap to what not to do next. And that's really what trust really is building that trust within yourself, that no matter what happens, the capability, you are capable of holding it forever and ever and ever and ever. And if you're not capable in that moment and you feel weak, weakness doesn't mean you're not capable. Crying doesn't mean you're not capable. Breathing for the next second means you're capable. Trying to understand means you're capable. Choosing to heal means you're capable. Even if it doesn't feel like strength, you're still capable of holding the outcome. So that was my understanding within myself. That's how I grew within myself internally, that my capabilities was my excellence. My capability of holding the outcome, holding myself no matter what got hit into my face, holding myself with grace, holding myself with strength, holding myself in a way that's still soft and graceful, was my strength, was my courageous nature, was my self telling, was me telling myself that no matter what, I'm not gonna give up. No matter what gets thrown in front of me, it's just gonna be another stepping stone, another brick, another held accomplishment. Because your failure is an accomplishment. You accomplished a lesson. And every lesson in life shapes you to who you're supposed to be, molds you. And something I learned the other day is when you're being molded, it requires you to be kind of lit on fire. Like you have to be lit on fire to mold into the person you're supposed to be. And that fire can hurt. Being prepared hurts. Being prepared being prepared in your becoming, being prepared on your path is painful. because nothing that's powerful comes easy. Nothing that's nothing that's great is going to have an easy road. We don't want easy. We want ease. And the only way to get ease is to know and trust that you are capable. And sometimes I surprise myself. I really, really, really do with my calmness, because the things that I've been learning and the things that I've been growing into, the things I've been reflecting lately, have really been life changing for me. Like the things I've learned on my healing journey have been, and the things that I've taught myself and I've implemented and I've wrote about and I've brought to life are have molded me. They were painful. They came from pain. Everything I've learned came from pain, came from the fire that was molding me. And that only built my capacity to hold it. It built my wit, my it built my wit 100%. Like my best jokes are the ones of me making fun of myself when I was in that in that cycle. But it built my personality. It built who I am as a person. It built my humor. It built my love for life. It built my love, like being more open. I'm so open to it now. I'm so open to every single thing that you can think of. Like, I'm not afraid of what might happen anymore. Because what might happen is just me overthinking a situation. And I'm not overthinking anymore. I just have really strong boundaries. And for very, very good reasons. And it's 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 necessary. It's extremely necessary to now I'm not saying trust your capacity and then go do something and let somebody break your boundaries or let somebody do something wrong to you. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is build have trust your capacity because you have all the boundaries that are necessary. And because you have all of this stuff in place, and because you have your self respect, because you have all these things, that you can trust your capacity to hold whatever the outcome is. That's the whole thing, is to build the trust that you know what is best for you. And God knows what is best for you, right? So just building that trust within you is the only thing, really, the only step that you need to take with trust. Because when you trust you, everything else falls into place. You'll start to attract people that you can trust, that are a part of your team, your emotional wellness team, right? Because we all need people. And I really discovered that. When I went on my healing journey, I came into it in such a defensive mindset that I was like, one of my things that I really wanted to strive for was to be in a place where I didn't need anyone, where I love myself so much, where I didn't need love from the outside world. And what I really come to know is that you do need that. You need love, and you need to give love, right? Because that's our nature. Our nature is to need love and to give love. So anyone who says they don't need love, they don't need this, they don't need that, they're lying. because I discovered that for myself, that I could only speak for me, but you do need that. You need that connection. That's what God made us for, really, is to really enjoy each other's company and enjoy life with the right people, with the kind people, and with loving people, and with caring people, and with people who respect you and respect who you are and respect your boundaries and respect your and respect your love, right? Because when you are in a relationship, you have to be able to respect somebody else's love for you. I mean, respect is love. There is no relationship without respect. That's what Beyonce said today when I was watching her. I was watching a video of her on YouTube, and she was like, there's no relationship, no work relationship, no intimate relationship, no marriage, no anything, no human interaction can be love without respect. And that's 100% a statement and a fact, an absolute. It's an absolute. There's no ways around it. Respect is respect. Respect is love, period. And it should never come off the table, no matter what. And if it does come off the table, you have to have the will to say what you need to say in that moment. So, with that being said, my name is Zainab Hamid, and I help women calm the storm within so they can rise again. Thank you for being here with me tonight. I love you all, and I trust who you're becoming. Have a great night.